It's that time again. So this is just something that I made in the summertime. It's a little ring holder for the little kids' dressers. Anyway, I wanted to clean up some of my molds. I have used tape in these to get the dirt out, but when I look at them, they just seem like they have like something residue. So what I'm going to try is to rub clear resin on them and let them dry and hope when I peel the resin off it takes any junk off of them. And you can see this one I used a lot for making geodes in, and there's just a lot of stuff on this one, and I really love this mold. But I wanted to clean the bottom of it up a little bit and the sides. So I thought it might be a good idea just to rub them down with some resin and then see what peels off tomorrow. So let's do this, as my granddaughter would say. Let's get to it. Just going to make sure I coat everything. Nothing crazy. Just a thin layer. I think should do the trick. I think I'm going to put an extra glove on so I can rub it with the glove and not ruin my nitrile gloves. They're precious. You know how us moms and Grammys are. Like to clean everything up all the time. And I'm actually going to do the edges too. I don't know what's happening. Now it looks blurry. Alright. I am going to be calling my cable company tomorrow. Let's say for the last month I've had horrific service. And I'm not much of a complainer. I rarely call them. I think it was like 2 years ago the last time I called them. But I need to call them because I'm having a terrible time with my service for at least a month. And pay them people a lot of money. I don't know. My modem needs changing. I don't know what's going on. But I'm sorry about that. So I got the square silicone box done. And I had to turn the light up for a minute so I could move around here and get these little ones done. So these are the little ones that I got from Michael's. And I want to use them, but they've been sitting around for a while and they collected dust and they just didn't look too good. So I thought, well, let's do this clear resin thing. What I noticed on the other pan that I just did, silicone baking dish, was that there were spots that the resin wouldn't stick to, a couple little spots. I did use tape on them, but they're just not nice. You really need to put these in those, the plastic cases with the clips on them. They sell them for scrapbooking paper at Michael's. They're pretty big. I have a lot, well, I shouldn't say a lot. I have some of my other molds that I use for, foods and stuff. I keep them in there. So I think doing resin work with all the dust and everything, I think it's a good idea to put these molds in an upside down in an enclosed case, just to keep the extra dirt off of them. So I have that's all coated, sort of not sticking on the one part there. But what are we gonna do? I have a couple projects that I want to do with these, and I know the silicone's going to pick up whatever that is in the bottom, the residue, and so I'll have to sit here and pick all this clear stuff off. So we'll find out tomorrow if it's worth doing this or not. Every so many months. Man, I got a lot of my little dog hairs down here. See, in this mermaid mold, can you see the stuff that's in that mold? I only used the mold once. That, I don't want to, well, I guess I'm going to have to touch it. I wanted to do color in them in a minute. Get my tweezers. Yeah, I went on that Dick Blick site last night to get some mold making equipment, and they had a tab to click on for tweezers, and when I clicked on it, it took me to Cricut tools. And I really was hoping they would have an assortment of tweezers. And I guess I'll have to go to Amazon. I don't like Amazon now because I had an account with them since 2008. I can't get into the account. So I wrote to them because they had billed me for another month of Prime. And I guess they looked in and saw all the months that I didn't use the Prime. Although I did ship with it a few times. I guess they were looking at if I used it for movies or whatnot. So I just expected a refund of $13.99. They gave me a $179 refund for a whole year. But I still can't get into my old account. And I had a store on there where I've been selling all my used spiritual books and all. I used to sell CDs and cassettes. I used to sell all kinds of stuff. And slowly they stopped us from selling certain things if you're not a merchant paying $40 a month, and I'm not paying $40 a month to anyone, so They shut my account down. I cannot access it. So it sucks because I actually sell books that I wrote. I authored 2 books and I sell them through Amazon, but it's actually through KDP and CreateSpace. And I don't know. I don't get royalties. I get about 54 cents a book. And honestly, I don't know what to do about that situation. I give them away all the time. Every 90 days, I let my Kindle ones go up for free. Because I just don't know. I don't know how to go up against Amazon. You know, I own the rights. I could pull the books down at any time because I own the world rights to them. I paid for my own ISBN numbers. So I'm going to put a little color in to do, just to make these little mermaids. I really love this spruce green by Epoxy Candy. I love that color. I'm going to do that color on them. And the only thing with doing these little mermaid molds is the arms are so thin on the mold that they break off every time. So the mermaid's one-armed. So I have yet to get a good mermaid mold. And I haven't figured out how to do the hair a different color than the tail and the body. I'm sure if I look at enough videos, I'll figure it out. But they're still cool. The kids like them anyway. See, if I do the tail, I don't know if you could see that. Where are we? If I do the tail here, it's going to start dripping into the top. Maybe at some point I can figure out if I could try to get another color in there. It's going up into her body now. Yeah, her boobs are green now. It's going into her hair. What if I try to put some purple in there? See if I could. That's magenta. Ah, what the hell, let's do a little magenta and see what that looks like. These are Epoxy Candy colors, shimmer tints. I really love them. See if I can head this off at the pass. Ah. And then we're going to go right up the arm that's going to rip off anyway. Some of these molds aren't made very good quality. And that's the bottom line. I really would like to find a quality mold maker. I did buy a 2-pound kit of mold making medium, and the company that makes it is only 45 minutes from me. I couldn't believe it, but they do not sell it. They have distributors sell it. So I actually ordered it from Dick Blick website. Same price. But I went to Reynolds. This big company named Reynolds sells it too. They went at $18 and something to ship that little bit. And I got shipping for free with Dick Blick, because if you spent $35 you got free shipping. And without the special, shipping was only $4.95, and it was $1 something tax. So I will never order from that, whatever that Reynolds Corporation is. And they're right in Macungie too, down by Allentown. So they're probably a division. It was the Smooth On brand. And they have some YouTube videos I watched, and I try to research things before I spend any money, because it's so frustrating when you buy something that just turns out not to be what they say it is. Okay, so I got my little mermaids done. These are going to go into the cabinet. What else am I going to do? I'm going to fill some letters with the rest of this epoxy, so I can make something for my grandkids with their name on it. I'm going to try I have one left, I think. No, I have 4 of these pipettes left. Time to order more. Oh, that looks really thick. Really, I think it's too thick to put in there. Let's just see what we can get done. This kind of goes wherever it wants to. Last time I had a bunch of air bubbles in my letters. I think I have to do it when it's really thin. I think that's what I said to myself last time. I forgot. It was so cold in my basement tonight that I lit a kerosene heater, because it's been below 0 here. It was between 15 and 20 below on the weekend here. The wind gusts and everything, it was terrible. So I haven't been able to come down. So I decided to light the old faithful kerosene heater. I haven't lit that thing in 5 years, probably more. It's been about 6 or 7 years. But I fired it up. And then I put my exhaust in the window. And I'll tell you, I am sweating inside of this hazmat suit. But it's the resin that I was worried about, not me. Yeah, this takes a lot of time doing these letters this way. I'll have to look up how people do this. There's got to be an easier way than this. You know how little these are that I'm going to be sanding them if they don't come out right? Craziness. Absolute sanity. All it does is wiggle around, wiggle around. What the heck? It's going up to 54 tomorrow. It's a heat wave. It'll melt all that ice and snow that's out there. Maybe. And then at nighttime it'll freeze it all back up. I wonder if I squish it. I'm trying to be so careful. I'll tell you, I've been watching other people do their lives, and it drives me crazy that I can't come down and do mine because my basement was too cold. Really? I couldn't take it no more. I had to come down and I stuck that kerosene heater outside till it got going and then carried it back in. Looks like I'm not going to be able to make the whole name with just one color. Before you know it, we'll be riding Harleys. Riding in the wind. It's going to be interesting. My basement stays pretty cool in the summer. So it'll be interesting this year, seeing what it's like in my new workshop down here. I wanted to go to the Herkimer diamond mine picking. I don't know if I'm going to make it. It's in upstate New York. I should probably spend the night so I could pick for 2 days. Yay, you, where's you? And I really am terrible at this. Really terrible. Making a mess of the mold. And I'll be trying to figure out how to clean this mold. J-U-N-A-B-E. Oh, I got one L. I'm gonna have to do another L another time. I'm gonna have to get another tray like this for double letters and names. This only gives you one single. That's not cool. I think I got this one at Michael's. I'll have to go grab another one. I should probably grab 3 or 4 and just spend the night doing a bunch of letters. Yeah, I can only do one of the letters. I need 2 of those. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should heat it up first. You know what I forgot to do? Heat up my mermaids. I did. Got to do that. And I'm not dragging them back out. I was going crazy not being able to do my resin art. I was watching videos of candy shops making peanut brittle. Oh my god. I'm not even supposed to be eating that stuff. They use 7 pounds of butter. It's crazy. 7 pounds of sugar. A little bit of water. Look at that, I never did that before. Sprayed some alcohol and wiped the tops of them. Come on, Grammy, get it together here. Alright, that's all I'm doing with the letters. Oh, look at that, I spilled that. Good thing my desk is prepared for resin, right? I got 3-ply plastic across my desk. And when I used my inks and I was spraying the inks and stuff, boy, did that stain that plastic. Looks pretty, but it stained the crap out of it. I have to fix a hook with resin for a minute. So my hook started, my geodes that was hanging on the walls, everything started falling off the walls. So then I heard someone say, I don't know if it was ATD or probably was, that's who I watched the most, but I heard someone say to use resin to adhere your hooks, those alligator hooks on the back. So I've been doing that little by little, taking my pieces off the wall and fixing them up. Let me see if I can grab a little mold for the rest of that. Little fishies, which they came out great on my little ocean piece, and that's a new little cat and moon I got. Just get stuff a little bit at a time. That you could hardly see. I'd like to get one of them GoPros. Take everybody for a Harley ride. In the nice weather. Only ride when it's warm out. We have a very short riding season. Because it's got to be at least 70, 75 for me to ride. Because when I get cold, my body cramps up and it's very painful. So riding is a luxury to me. That looks really pretty. That spruce green is so beautiful. I don't know if you can see that. Just can't see how beautiful that is. I know you can't. Really beautiful. It's pretty. Now let's see if we can get a fish or two done here with the rest of this before I mix up some more. I certainly didn't heat up this basement just to clean out molds. I also spent time cutting all the little resin nibs off of projects that I did. So I had to make sure I had my, you have to do that with all the gear on because it's really bad to breathe that in. Because it definitely creates smoke from burning the resin. And then you cut them off. It's very toxic. In fact, I noticed earlier tonight I did a mediumship practice circle, and so I sit in a webcam room to do that, and I usually, I'll put a little mascara on or whatever. I don't wear much makeup, but when I put my makeup on, my eyes were nice and clear. And then I noticed after I had lit the kerosene heater, and I always look in the mirror when I put my respirator and hazmat mask on and suit on, so I could make sure my hair is in and no hair sticking out for me to get resin in, and make sure my masks are lined up right, and my eyes were bright red, so bloodshot. I could not believe the difference. And that was just from smelling kerosene. I tried not to be sloppy, but I did spill some of it and I had to clean it up, so I spent a little time cleaning it up. And I didn't wear anything at that time, and I didn't think about it. So apparently I'm sensitive for anything, not just resin now. But before, nothing bothered me. Now I'm a sensitive little wuss. What are you gonna do? Maybe it comes with age. I was reading the specs from the company. I was reading about their resin, and I was reading about the Act, what was it, 64? California Act on epoxy. And it talked about how it causes cancer. I forget what it else said. I just remember that it said it causes cancer. Oh, I think it said it causes hair to fall out. Is that what I read? I know my hairbrushes have been filling up a lot since I got my chemical burns. Alright, I'm going to hit these a little bit with some heat. I know my dog's starting to feel better. And when I was doing it up in the kitchen, I don't know what the hell was wrong with me. Why I didn't think about that. I feel so bad about that, but he's doing better. His eyes are starting to clear up after a few months. Okay, I'm going to put these in the thingy and get ready to do something else. Little Koi's, little kitty cat in the moon. Alright, give me a minute here to grab a couple things. Oh, what do I want to do? Alright. That color is so beautiful. It's beautiful mermaid color. Alright, I don't have nothing to do with that little color. I think I'll stick just a little bit inside this bracelet board. Start putting all my little scraps in there. Make a groovy bracelet. Be a 3-month bracelet, right? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to turn this live off and mix up my resin and come back and start another one instead of being boring. Alright, I'll be back. Make something beautiful. Rock on.